The Boston Celtics have long since established themselves as the standard all great franchises and dynasties are measured against in the NBA. The road towards becoming an elite basketball franchise has not been a smooth one, with a number of games coming down to one play, one moment in time. In this video, I'll be giving you the top 10 most clutch players in Celtics history. Hello there and welcome back to another video, you lovely people. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy watching things related to the NBA, look no further. You've came to the right place, so be sure to subscribe to the channel with those notifications on. Isaiah Thomas's time in Boston wasn't long, but there's no mistaking the lasting impact that he had made on the franchise and the Celtics fan base. The 5'9" guard electrified fans with his scoring ability, particularly how he was able to get buckets in the fourth quarter, which is what most Celtic fans remember most about him. Injuries that first showed up during his time in Boston have prevented him from reaching those same basketball heights since then, but Thomas's late game heroics as a Celtic will forever be the legacy he leaves behind when it comes to his time in Boston. While Cedric Maxwell is one of the few on this list who isn't in the Hall of Fame, that doesn't take away from the penchant he showed during his time in Boston as a big game performer. Despite spending the bulk of his career surrounded by future Hall of Famers who garnered significantly more attention, it was Maxwell who more times than not put the Celtics on his back and carried them to big playoff wins. In 1991, Maxwell's play garnered him NBA Finals MVP. And 3 years later, Larry Bird was the Finals MVP, but it was Maxwell's Game 7 performance in the Finals, which was 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and a blocked shot that catapulted the Celtics to yet another championship. Dave Cohen's finished his career as one of the Boston Celtics' best scorers and rebounders, but it was Cohen's hustle, especially in big games, that often stood out about his play. One of the most iconic moments during his time as a Celtic came during Game 6 of the 1974 NBA Finals against Milwaukee when he dove past the outstretched arms of Oscar Robertson for a loose ball, secured it, and called a timeout. The Celtics would go on to win the series and the franchise's 12th NBA title in 7 games. Bob Cousy, known for his wizardry as a playmaker, Cousy could knock down some big shots too. He was the floor general during the first of Boston's NBA Best 17 NBA championships in 1957. For that playoff run, Cousy averaged 20.2 points, 9.3 assists, and 6.1 rebounds per game, and tallied a double-double of 12 points and 11 assists in Boston's 125-123 double overtime win against St. Louis, which is considered by many as the best Game 7 in NBA history. Buckets. That's one thing you could count on seemingly all the time from Sam Jones. He was an elite scorer in the NBA, a scorer who seemed to elevate his prowess for producing points when the games had the most at stake. Like most of the Celtics greats, his playoff stats are noticeably better than his regular season ones. Jones, currently 7th on the franchise's all-time scorers list, increased his scoring average in the playoffs in 7 of his last 8 seasons in Boston. When it comes to last-second daggers, there are few to ever play the game to strike more than fear in the heart of a defense than Ray Allen. One of the quickest catch-shoot-release players of any time, the Celtics don't bring home banner 17 if not for Allen's ability to come through in the clutch. And like Paul Pierce, who was Allen's teammate in Boston, Allen took that clutch shot making of his to another team after leaving Boston, where he did more of the same. John Havlicek, the Boston Celtics' all-time leading scorer. That alone makes him a top 5 choice when it comes to the franchise's all-time clutch performers. You don't score the way Hondo did for 16 years, all in Boston by the way, and not deliver your share of game-changing baskets along the way. But what made Hondo such a special talent was that his scoring was just part of his game, which impacted winning on all key levels of play. Scoring, rebounding, defending, and passing, and was a key to the Celtics winning 8 NBA titles during his time in green. While Bill Russell doesn't get nearly as much attention or love for what he did in the closing moments of games, Russell's presence at both ends of the floor, especially late in ball games, was a major factor in Boston's ascension to the top of the NBA mountaintop. Averaging 15.1 points and 22.5 rebounds throughout his career is impressive, but to see both of those numbers increase to 16.2 points and 24.9 rebounds per game in the playoffs speaks to how Russell stepped his game up when the games mattered most. Paul Pierce will always be remembered by Celtics fans as a lethal big-time scorer, with many of those points coming in pressure-packed, next shot wins the game kind of moments. Whether it's delivering a last-second dagger in Miami or taking his last-second clutch game to Washington and coming through for the Wizards, Pierce will be remembered as one of the game's all-time greats in the clutch. When it comes to making big plays and big moments, there has never been and there never will be another Larry Bird. What made him such a special late-game performer is that some of his most iconic moments came in games in which he thoroughly dominated from beginning until the very end. According to The Ringer, Bird averaged 41.3 points in games in which he made a buzzer-beating game-winning shot. "If it comes down to one shot, I want to be the one to take it," Bird said in an interview during his playing days. Larry Bird is arguably one of the greatest players of all time and definitely one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time. That is the end of the video, guys. If you made it this far, thank you so very much. That is awesome. Before you close this video out, be sure to slap a like on it. Remember, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing with those bell notifications on. That would mean a lot. Until next time, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one.